See, because yes, can tell you the very first time that I channeled, I was living with a guy who took notes, and I brought in 12 guides.
Wow.
And I used to channel Ishmael, and he was a very spiritual man, and he taught spirituality through me. And I opened up to a body guardian who was a Native American named Golden Eagle. And I even had a large cat from Egypt that protected me from anything trying to get to me that was anyway negative or whatever, and had a lapis necklace around his neck. Was really, and then I had a Chinese man who worked constantly on balancing my body to keep it healthy. They were just, and I forget his name, actually. I've got it written down somewhere on a pad here. I can look it up. But ever since then, Jonathan, ever since I stopped turning my body over to guides, I just open my mouth and the information comes through. That's why I call myself streams of consciousness, because I open my mouth and whatever's available that I feel is honorable comes through. I don't always know what I'm saying. I don't always have that information.
Right.
I find it fascinating. When I read people that are star children or Pleiadian, I'm fascinated with the information that comes through because I have no clue until it comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why I think communication with the cosmos is appropriate, because I just know that truth is coming from the right place, and I don't have to give it a name.
Right.
I think that now that we have communication with the cosmos, we could go into some of those significant questions that people ask, like, why am I here? Yeah. One of the biggest things right now that I see going on with people is their emotional body is opening up because we're in the age of Aquarius. They can't just live in their minds anymore.
Right.
They don't know how. So many of them, that's why there's so much addiction. They don't know how to allow emotions without being owned by them. And it's much more painful than being owned by your mind. Your mind can spin out and it doesn't hurt your body, but emotions cause deep-seated depression, deep-seated anger, all those things we're most afraid of.
Right. Yeah, right? I mean, it doesn't feel good to feel bad either. That's the other thing. So people don't want to sit there, in that state.
Well, the thing is, they do the absolute wrong thing they should do when they feel bad. Okay? And it all starts because people are not taught they're worthy in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
and because
tend to
they're
teach
not
the opposite.
Taught, we teach, they hear more no's as children than they hear a yes. Right? And so a long time ago, I followed an entity known as Bartholomew, and he was on the other side, and he wrote through Mary Margaret Moore for a time till he realized that everybody was asking the same questions over and over again. And he said, I'm going to the silence of your heart, and if you want to find me, you have to get quiet, because that's where I'll be. I'm not speaking anymore. Mm-hmm. But he used to talk about emotions as being nothing more than energies moving through you. What people do that's not right to try to get rid of the feeling is pour alcohol into it, put drugs into it,
right.
Feed it a zillion pieces of candy or chips, right? Or their mind does oh my God, I know what this is. This is what happened. And I remember when that happened before. And when I was 4, this happened and that happened. And what they're doing is they're blowing up a balloon, making that feeling worse and worse and worse.
Right, because they're associating it with some other bad thing that was similar in the past. And I do that a lot still. I catch myself. But I mean, at least now I can sort of catch myself sometimes. Before, it's like I wasn't even thinking of it in terms of that, and I just get caught up in it every time. And, so.
If people could learn to just, close their eyes and say, emptiness is present. Confusion is present. Frustration is present.
Right.
I do not have to know where it came from. And I can just breathe into it and allow it. As I watch a funny movie, as I take a walk in nature, as I do something that I love that makes me feel good, right? And rather than question it, just breathe into it It's a child. It's you as a child afraid of something. And sometimes you can just say, what am I really afraid of, and what's the worst possible thing that can happen? And reality that we're going to write about is there's no death.
Right.
There's only ongoing life.